Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, yeah, he's going beyond the Thunderdome. That's not the song. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of GearBreakerNation.com. This time we're going to be reviewing Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Now, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is a 1985 post-apocalyptic action-adventure film directed by George Miller and George Ogilvie. And it is the third installment in the Mad Max series. The film stars Mel Gibson, Tina Turner, Adam Cockburn, and Bruce Spence. The film follows Max, who ends up getting exiled from Bartertown by the corrupt anti-entity and ends up discovering this cult of kids that are just worshiping this crashed 747 plane. Now, in terms of acting, the film does have a really good cast. The main and supporting cast do a very good job. Mel Gibson does a terrific job of Max, and it's good to see that he's all older now. His hair is grown. You can see the gray in his hair, and you can see how years and years of just being out there in the wasteland has drained him, both physically and emotionally. You can see he's got this very silent warrior tone to his character, and it actually fits in this gritty world. His character is done really well, and it does end up getting fleshed out in this film. Tina Turner as Auntie Entity, she completely killed this role. She was like sexy, but she was cruel, she was cunning. You could just see the malevolent intentions upon her, but she wasn't really evil. She had really good motivation for the things that she was doing, but you could see how that ambition just corrupted her, and she just gave the character a very well-rounded personality that was really enjoyable to see on the film. The kids in the film do a really good job. They're spectacular. You can just tell that it's got this fantasy element about them, somewhat reminiscent of the Lost Boys from Peter Pan. It's good to see how they interact with Max and how they view the world and how they view Max. Very engrossing to just sympathize with these kids because they don't know what's really going on out there in the world. And this kid right here, he was actually pretty good. I enjoyed him he had a really mysterious element about him, and he really didn't say anything in the film, but just the way that his design was and some of the stuff that he did, it made him kind of a very prominent character. The setting is pretty good for the most part, and you can see how just the world is just driven into chaos and everybody's just struggling to survive. A bit of hopelessness to the film and to the story. And when you see Max just going through this desert, just no water, no food, no shelter, you just really feel for him. And the setting is really good. Bartertown actually does function pretty well, and I did enjoy seeing how these people interacted, and it just brought civility to this new barbaric world, and where people just kill each other over the littlest things, and they steal and they pillage. I like the hierarchy, the bartering system, how they had electrical power. Everything about Bartertown for the most part was really good. Thunderdome was exceptional. I really did enjoy that segment of the movie. It was like it has a really original idea, even though it is a gladiatorial type. It was actually pretty cool seeing how these people fought and everything, with the suspended wires, with the weapons, with the rules. I mean, it was a really good addition, and the design of it was pretty cool looking too. The action for the most part is decent. It isn't as pronounced as it was in the Road Warrior, but it's still enjoyable to watch nonetheless. Now let's talk about some of the negatives. Since they cast Bruce Spence again as a pilot type role, why didn't they just sit there and just have him be the gyro captain? I mean, it'd be a good development arc if you sit there and think about it. Max is going through the desert, he's aged. The gyro captain's gone through the desert, he's aged. The gyro captain had a kid. It'd be good to see these two characters actually reunite and see how their lives would have been over the years. The Thunderdome aspect, I wish there was more to it. I would want to see more gladiatorial battles. Maybe Max witnesses somebody else fight first, then he gets into it and ends up fighting. I would have loved to see the whole Thunderdome aspect, which I thought was a good premise, but they didn't flesh it out. Which does bring me to my third negative of the film, is somewhat the stories. The two stories, I feel like this film could have been separated into two different stories. It could have been easily two different movies. One movie being Okay, Max ends up getting captured and taken to Bartertown and becoming a slave, and then does an uprising, while at the same time he has to sit here and compete in the Thunderdome. That would have been a good premise, and it would have gave more dialogue between Gibson and Turner's character, which I really wanted to see. I wanted to kind of see that there's this dialogue between these two characters about, you know, morality, you know, how they struggles, you know, how things have changed over their lives. I would have liked to see more of that in this film, which they didn't really do too much, unfortunately. The second storyline could have been Mel Gibson ends up as coming across this cult of kids. And then you have another group that wants to capture the kid. That would have been a really good premise. I felt like the kid aspect did bring the dark tone of the film down a bit, which is unfortunately compared to the violent and brutal nature of its predecessor. Having said that, I will say I enjoyed this film. It's time to give this film its rating. And I have to say, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome definitely deserves a 3 out of 5. I'm not going to necessarily say that the film is better than Road Warrior, but I will say they're playing on even ground. They do have their differences. I did like the acting in this film. It does give you a bit more sense towards caring about the characters and a little bit more backstory, which I think did help. They did have some decent action scenes, and I did like the constructed world of Bartertown. I thought it was really good. I thought the religion of the kids was really good too. Everything pretty much fit in those two aspects, but I wish that those stories would have been 2 different movies, which I think would have worked a little bit better. And Bruce Spence, although I did like his performance in the film and in the Road Warrior, I wish they could have either recasted that character or just brought the Gyro Captain back. So guys, in the comment section below, let me know what you think. Did you think that Beyond Thunderdome was better than the Road Warrior? Did you think that the kids aspect was a bit lighthearted for such a dark film? Did you think Tina Turner was a pretty good bad guy? Because in my personal opinion, I thought she was. I thought she kicked ass. And to the next edition of GearBreakerNation.com, guys, and remember, keep those gears turning.